Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a really lovely day to see you. Yesterday, we have received until 700 participants. It's quite a lot of number from several countries, of course, to join this webinar. Among them are from Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, Taiwan, Ghana, China, Sri Lanka, Latvia, Vietnam, Saudi Arabia, Australia, Norwegian, India, and Russian. Wow, we can see that's a lot of country. Hopefully that all of us could get special experience on this extraordinary event because pandemic is not stopping us to be connected to each other and passionately productive towards the distance. Therefore, once again, we would like to welcome you all to this room on this special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, we also want to inform you that we have several points of this house rule on this webinar. First is, we please you to activate the silent mode or the microphone during the presentation and discussion session. Number 2, we please you to keep turn on the camera during the event. Number 3, questions from the participant will be delivered on Q&A session after the presentation. So if you have any kind of question, you can write it down on chat box with tag your name and institution or your country. And after that, number 4, keep stay on the room during the event. If you have connection trouble, you can directly join and come back to this room. And the last is we inform you that the e-certificate will be given after fill on the evaluation form after the session. There are our house rule on this webinar. Once again, we welcome you all to join this webinar. The Honorable Vice Dean of Business Administration in Faculty Social and Political Science of Pajajaran University, Dr. Arianis Chan, SIP MSI, the Honorable President of Business Administration Association, Faculty Social and Political Science of Pajajaran University, Kak Reza Apriansyah, the Honorable Project Officer of International Business Solution Competition 2020, Kak Ardiga Mazaka, and of course, our beloved participants. Good afternoon, selamat siang, and welcome back to Webinar of Agility in Facing Fast-Moving Consumer Goods, or FMCG, Talent's Transformation in Post-Pandemic World, Friday, November 13, 2020 at online Zoom forum. To opening this event, let's prepare ourselves to sing the national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Thank you. Our next agenda is we will have first greetings by Project Officer of International Business Competition Solution 2020 to Kak Ardiga Mazaka. Time is yours.
Hello guys, peace be upon you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank Nestlé Indonesia for making this happen. It is an honor to work with a big multinational corporation such as Nestlé. This is once in a lifetime chance for me and for us, IBSC. Thank you to Ibu Arianis Chan from Program Studi Administrasi Bisnis and Reza Apriansyah as the President Director of Himabis UNPAD for giving full support towards IBSC. And also, thank you to all of the IBSC committees who have worked hard to be at this point, to be on top of a mountain. Before we get into it, let me introduce myself. My name is Ardiga Mazaka, standing as the Project Officer of IBSC 2020. And I am here, not alone, as the head of the board. I am being helped by two outstanding Vice Project Officers who are Amelia Sarah and Andi Alfian. I would like to thank Mr. Ganeshan, the President Director of Nestlé Indonesia, being here as a speaker to share. Thank you for the time and the knowledge that will be given, which we all know these informations will be very useful for the participants to develop their thoughts on the topic given. I also want to thank all participants for participating in this webinar. International Business Solution Competition. It is a series of events under the authority of the UNPAD Business Administration. IBSC itself is a work program that offers a lot of positive values for the participants and also the committee. Right on Friday, November 13th, the webinar Collaborating with Nestlé will be carried out. The theme that will be carried out today is Agility in Facing FMCG, Talent Transformation in Post-Pandemic World. This theme was brought up because it is really important to be ahead on facing the new world. We need to be ahead to seize opportunities. With this webinar that we will conduct carefully, I hope that we could gain new perspectives on the topic given. Open some of the thoughts that are not on our minds yet. Participants are expected to gain new knowledge as a provision for the future in facing this new world. Once again, as I said before, we need to be ahead to seize our opportunities. That's all I'm gonna say for today. My name is Ardiga Mazaka. I hope all of us gain something important for today. Last but not least, enjoy the webinar. Thank you so much for participating. May peace be upon you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Kak Ardi, for the really lovely greetings. To all participants, secondly, we will have another greetings by Business Administration Association President, Faculty Social and Political Science of Pajajaran University. To Kak Reza Apriansyah, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mita. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started, I would like to thank our honorable speaker, Mr. Ganesan, President Director of Nestlé Indonesia, and Ms. Arianis Chan, the Head of Business Administration Study Programs of Universitas Pajajaran. I also would like to thank all participants who have joined this event. And foremost, my gratitude goes to the IBSC 2020 committees who have been working hard to organize this fantastic event. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy during this pandemic. Okay. First of all, allow me to introduce myself and say a few words. My name is Reza Apriansyah, the current President Director of Himabis UNPAD. It is a great pleasure for me to welcome you to this webinar with the theme Agility in Facing FMCG Talent Transformation in Post-Pandemic World. Himpunan Mahasiswa Administrasi Bisnis, or HIMABIS, is one of the student organization in Universitas Pajajaran under the supervisory of Business Administration Study Program. This year, HIMABIS has the vision to become a student organization with achievement on the Southeast Asia scale by 2024. To achieve this vision, we conduct several programs. One of them is the International Business Solution Competition, or IBSC 2020. IBSC is the annual business case competition held by HIMABIS, established in 2017, named BFC and NBSC in 2018. In 2019, as a part of our vision, we changed the program to IBSC, with the concept of the business case competition on global scale. IBSC designed as a forum or place for students in Southeast Asia to gather and create creative ideas, innovate in solving problems, develop and hone skills, and also to develop friendship with students across Southeast Asia. Therefore, I hope that IBSC 2020 can provide new experience and insight to all participants. Once again, thank you to Nestlé Indonesia for providing support to us in organizing this webinar event. Then thanks to media partners who have worked with us. That is all I have to say. We hope you enjoy this webinar event and have a great and meaningful experience during this session. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon you.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Kak Reza, for the impressive greeting. Ladies and gentlemen, next we will have another greeting as well as the opening the event by Vice Dean of Business Administration in Faculty Social and Political Science of Pajajaran University, to Dr. Aryanis Chan, SI, PMSI. May you have the floor.
Okay. Thank you, MC. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Greeting to all of us, to the honorable speaker, to my beloved student, and all participants IBSC. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let us praise and thank the presence of Allah Almighty for the abundant grace and the joy of all of us can still gather in this event in good health. Ladies and gentlemen, and all students or participants, this IBSC event is the one of program the HIMA ADBIS, which this time takes the theme maximize business agility by understanding market opportunities in FMCG. This IBSC event is special because it's the first time we have held it in pandemic atmosphere and online methods. The current pandemic condition should be a challenge for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, with this activity, hopefully it will have many positive impacts to all of us on the critical thinking skills of the competition participants. Finally, congratulations on joining this event. Hopefully, that what we are doing today will be benefit to Indonesian business, especially in the FMCG business. And at the same time, I open this event with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Aryanis, for the greeting. Ladies and gentlemen, let's moving forward to the next agenda. As we know, today's webinar, we will carry on the theme of agility in facing FMCG talent transformation in post-pandemic world. Invited our first special speaker. Therefore, without any longer, we will give it pass to the floor to the Honorable Kak Sarah.
Okay, hello. Am I audible? Hello, everybody. Okay. Okay, cool. Good afternoon, everybody. Selamat siang semuanya, especially for IBSC team, IBSC committee, and also Bu Aryanis. Thank you so much for the chance and the partnership today that we can work together in this masterclass or this webinar with Nestlé Youth Indonesia. Just quickly introducing myself, I am Sarah. I'm from the talent management team. I'm also the part of the Nestlé Youth Indonesia committee. And then I'm here with Pak Ganesan as your buddy today for our conversation about the fast-moving consumer goods talent transformation in the post-pandemic world. But before we start, let's play a little game via menti.com. I hope you guys can already see my screen. Yeah, okay, so let's just start this session with, yes, hello? Yeah, Yamita?
Hello.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, go ahead, Kasara. I mean, the screen has already show up.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's just join the menti.com while I'm also carry on talking about this exciting day because you guys will meet our President Director, Pak Ganesan. Okay, thank you. Just want to see who are you of all of the audience because kudos to the committee for the promotion effort. I heard that up to 800 people registered for this event. So congratulations for the committee. Let's see. Let's just log in real quick to menti.com via your mobile phone and check in. Who are you? Experienced workers, fresh graduates, or students? In here, we will also get familiar with Nestlé. So there will be a trivia question about Nestlé as a global company as well. And I encourage you to share the excitement today to your IG story, Instagram story, and tagging at Nestlé Careers ID, also at IBSC.UNPAD. Okay, cool. Reaching out 120. Okay. Cool, we're going 200? No? And everybody don't worry, I will be the bridge here as well. Kalau misalkan mau tanya pakai bahasa Indonesia, it's okay. I will be the bridge between you and Pak Ganesan. I will try my best to translate everything to you. So it will be a very quite interesting session in order to face the post-pandemic situation later on. Okay, we're reaching 150. Okay, thank you. So most of you are students here today and fresh graduate and experienced worker. I think it's our colleague coming from Nestlé. Welcome everybody. Enjoy the session. Okay, thank you for joining the quiz. Okay, I think we can move on to the next question. Because I heard from the committee that you guys not only coming from Indonesia, but we have other markets registered for this event. Maybe could you please check in your country of origins? Hi, Philippines. Hi, Malaysia. Good day to you. Hi, Brunei. Hi, Brunei. Good day to you. Okay, cool. We have Taiwan here. Okay, hi. Cool. Australia. Hi, Australia. Okay. It's very great to share not only to our Indonesian friends, but also others coming from outside Indonesia. Russia, okay. Cool. Singapore. Okay, keep it coming, guys. Taiwan, Australia is ready. It's very exciting to see this actually. India, welcome. Okay, okay. I think that's all that is already attending. UK, wow, very far away. Hi. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, for checking in. And I hope you guys, even if maybe you're not coming from Indonesia, you can already you can enjoy this session very well. Let's move on to Nestle trivia. Question number 1 of 3. Oh, okay, okay. There's so many of you. Answer fast to get more points. So where is our headquarter located? Is it in Australia or United Kingdom or in Switzerland? Good luck. Okay, the correct answer is in Switzerland. Our headquarter located in Vevey, Swiss. Thank you. Let's move to the next question. How many brands do we have globally? Actually, this information is available on our website, nestle.com. Is it 500? Is it 1,000 to... Okay, so yeah, the correct answer is more than 2,000 brands that we have globally. So that's how big Nestle portfolio globally, guys. Thank you. So we have the last one to get to know Nestle better. How old is Nestle as a company? Umur kita berapa tahun, guys? Is it 102, 155, or 150? Okay, the correct answer is in the middle one, 155. Thank you, thank you. So actually, I'm glad most of you are already familiar with Nestle Indonesia, and then Nestle as a global company, sorry. And then after this, we will get to know better about Nestle, about fast-moving consumer goods business, and of course about the talent transformation, and what should you prepare as a talent later on, maybe later when you are graduated, or for the experienced worker when you want to move company, let's say, or develop your career. So thank you so much for your enthusiasm. I think you guys are super ready to absorb new learning from Pak Ganesan. And I just want to remind you, feel free to type your question in the chat box, and then we will read the questions during the Q&A session. And then without further ado, I think I'm gonna get Pak Ganesan to tune in. Happy learning, everybody. Just give me like 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, while waiting for Pak Ganesan, because he's still in another call, let's just play another slide from menti.com. Could you please share with everybody the skills that you have learned during quarantine period? So it's been 3 quarters for us that maybe most of us staying home di rumah aja in Indonesian. Okay, foreign language, copywriting, baking, writing, digital art. That's interesting. Photography. Is it virtual photography? Memasak. Okay, cool. Python. Okay, keep it coming guys. Keep it coming. Cool. You guys can inspire each other, bisa menginspirasi satu sama lain. Jadi misalnya kayak temennya belajar programming, then you get inspired. Oh, maybe I can try to learn programming. Let's say from Coursera, or even as simple as YouTube. Let's say, or Udemy if you are familiar with the course tools right now. Okay. Painting, video editing, baking, okay, singing, cool. Nobody learns to play ukuleles? Music, cool. Employer branding, I like that. Financial markets, corporate finance, okay, that's not easy, but cool. Investment, okay, public speaking, voice over, that's interesting.
There are 2 links, right? The second one, right?
Yes, Pak. The second one. Yes, Pak. Thank you. Okay, so Pak Ganesan actually is getting ready for the session. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing. You guys can just take a quick screenshot of this slide, so you can get inspired what to learn later on if the quarantine got extended. Okay, cool. Okay, let me switch the slide to the webinar one, because Pak Ganesan already getting ready to log in to Zoom.
All right, are we ready to go? Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for unmuting me. Hi, Pak Ganesan. Welcome to our session today.
Right, selamat siang, and it's a pleasure to be here. Yeah.
Thank you, Pak. Okay, can you see the screen already, Pak?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody, I just want to remind you, feel free to type your question in the chat box. And without further ado, let me just welcome Pak Ganesan, Nestlé Indonesia President Director. Pak, the floor is yours. Good luck.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, friends, and citizens of the world, and my dearest children, and I'll explain why I use the word children after this. As majority of the participants are from Indonesia, I like to say a pantun or a verse of poem in Bahasa Indonesia first. Tinggi terbangnya si kuda besi dari Sumatera ke Pulau Jawa. Senang hati bertemu mahasiswa di sini, sumber harapan nusa dan bangsa. Hujan lebat, hutan belantara, dari jauh kelihatan indah. Apa kabar, wahai anak muda, calon pemimpin nusa dan bangsa? So with that, I like to start by thanking you for giving me an opportunity to say a few words. But I must say the title is pretty complicated. FMCG, Talent Transformation in a Post-Pandemic World. And that's a pretty big mouthful to start with. So I'd like to just remind ourselves what FMCG means or used to mean. It used to be goods which are frequently purchased and consumed rapidly in a fast-moving environment. And I guess that speed has not slowed down. In fact, it's accelerated. Talent is basically everybody on the call. All of us are talents. It's not just meant for young people alone, but talent is something all of us have and something that we should strive to fulfill our fullest potential. And as leaders, and everybody on this call is also a leader, we have to make sure everyone and every single person, and especially the children of the future, are not left behind. No child should be left behind. Then transformation. Transformation means a marked change in form, nature, or appearance. And things are transforming itself today by design, by choice, and by force. And last but not least, this post-pandemic world. Well, the pandemic is still going on, and I guess it's going to be around for the next short term and medium term. And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we can all return back to the normality that we used to enjoy. But however, we are still going to be facing the pandemic. So with that, I'd like to give you what I think is the pandemic or the post-pandemic world. Can we move to the next slide, please? So, whatever the new normal is, and I don't know if today is the new normal, there is going to be a lot of volatility, a lot of uncertainty. There's going to be continued complexity and ambiguity. Each and every one of these elements is going to be around. Whether it was post-pandemic, pre-pandemic, or continuously, it's still going to be around. So, que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. And I think we should not worry too much about the uncertainties, because human nature, mankind, historically has gone through many, many periods of uncertainty. We are probably the luckiest generation because we didn't have to go through world wars. We didn't have to go through big crises. And to many of you on the call today, this is probably the biggest crisis you're facing. But human nature, and I believe that human nature and humankind will find solutions no matter how difficult things are. So that's just the title. Now, a little bit about myself. Next slide, please. So that's me. In Indonesia, when young people like you talk to old or other older people than me, older people like me, we are given this title called Bapa, which means father. And that is why I called you, all of you, my children. So what I'd like to offer you is perspectives. Perspectives mean seeing things from a different light or a different lens. To many of you, people like me are dinosaurs working in the same company for 29 years. And most of you probably are below 29 years. But however, that's how you view me. But what I'd like to share with you is I had a fantastic journey working for this company. I came out of school in 1991. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I kind of took a chance by joining Nestlé, and I honestly didn't feel how 29 years sped away. It just moved so fast. There are a lot of memories and fantastic experiences, and that's why I consider this a Nestlé journey and myself a Nestlé journeyman. This is how you see me. And also on a personal note, I'd like to share with you how I see myself. If we could change the slide, please. This is how I see myself. I hope you're a fan of Star Wars. In Star Wars, there's a bunch of guys who are called the Jedis. And I like to think of myself as a corporate Jedi. The Jedis are the good guys. And that is why you always see, we like to talk about doing good. Nestlé is known as the good food, good life company, but we also like to do good things. And I honestly believe business has a big role to play in helping society solve problems. And also, if you see carefully there, there's this figure of 150 years. Many of you will dream about working in a startup, but I am working in a started up. Because what happens to startups? Because after they have become successful startups, they end up being started ups. And Nestlé is also, or rather, Nestlé was a startup. We started up more than 150 years ago. This company, which is a giant, was started by one man in his kitchen. All of us are impressed by the tech companies or the tech entrepreneurs who started the business in a garage or their home. So did our company. More than 150 years ago, Henri Nestlé produced his first product in his kitchen. But since then, the company grew and grew and grew and continues to grow. Most of you are digital nomads or native digitals or whatever you call yourselves. But I like to consider myself a cultural nomad because I had the opportunity to work in many countries and I still continue enjoying this experience given. So enough from myself. So let's get down to understanding a little bit about our company. I am compelled to talk about Nestlé a little bit. It's a great company, but I don't want to say we are the greatest, but it's a company for good. We at Nestlé like to, we are a good food, good life company, and we like to be a force for good. We like to believe in the power of food, because through food, which is next after water and air, you can really enhance the quality of life, not only today for today, but also for generations to come. Nestlé today, from the startup that it was more than 150 years ago, is the world's biggest FMCG company. Not many realize that. It's a humble company. We are rooted, or our roots come from Switzerland, and it's pretty unlikely home for the biggest FMCG company, the biggest food company, because Switzerland is a small country, but it also shows how innovative or how innovations has taken us through, and especially innovations through science of nutrition. Today, Switzerland only accounts for 2% of our business, 98% of Nestlé's business is outside Switzerland, which makes Nestlé a multinational's multinational. Nestlé is also a local multinational. It is Nestlé Indonesia, the company which I work for. It's not just Nestlé. Nestlé Indonesia means Nestlé for Indonesians. We are here to serve the Indonesian consumers. In everything we do, we put our customers and consumers at the heart of everything we do by building trust in our brands. The only thing common that lies through this company, which exists in more than 150 countries, is our values and standards. Values are similar wherever we work from. Can you move to the next slide, please? I think you're going backwards. Okay. Right. So again, one of the many reasons why I continue to work for this company, because I honestly believe it stands for something. It's got values. In today's world of instant results, high profit, and shortcuts, values like this mean something. Values like this, which we in Nestlé, the most important part is our values are rooted in respect. Respect for individuals and families, respect for communities, and also respect for the planet. And on each one of this, I'll give you some examples of what we do in Indonesia. Can we move to the next slide, please? And we do a lot of things apart from just producing and selling our brands. In Nestlé, we have a philosophy called creating shared value, which is delivering long-term positive benefit and impact to society and all our stakeholders. Stakeholders are not necessarily shareholders. So in Indonesia, we are the biggest buyer of fresh milk, biggest buyer of coffee. And I'd like to give the example of fresh milk, which actually is about how we work together with 26,000 farmers, in particular in East Java, where we buy fresh milk every single day. And despite the COVID pandemic, our teams, and especially our team members in the field, continue to collect fresh milk every single day, including through the month of Ramadan, which is the fasting month here, and also on Lebaran Day itself, every single day. And this is something which we are extremely proud of. By doing this, we are injecting a substantial amount of money to the rural economy direct to the farmers. That's just one example. Another example is coffee. In Indonesia is a leading coffee producer, and Nestlé buys, I guess, the biggest amount of coffee in Indonesia. And we impact 20,000 coffee farmers. And again, contribution to rural economy. And another thing which we're again proud of is this program called Nestlé for Healthier Kids, which we started in 2010, and where we do an unbranded program in teaching nutrition and the benefits of nutrition to teachers and students. I can go on, but I'm not here to talk about Nestlé alone. I'm also here to talk about you. Can we move to the next slide, please? A little bit about the history of our company. You see the figure 1971. That's when officially Nestlé Indonesia was formed. And since 1971, the company has grown from strength to strength. And next year, we will celebrate our 50th anniversary in Indonesia. Can we move forward again, please? So coming closer to the topic again, the pandemic. COVID-19 was something nobody even considered or planned or figured out before it happened. COVID-19 landed on our laps, and very quickly we had to react. And react is the word, with agility and also with heart. So our 3 priorities during this pandemic is the safety of our people, business continuity, and contribution to society. First and foremost is the safety of our people. And today, our teams, whether in our factories, our distribution centers, are working continuously, following all the right protocols. And again, I'm very proud of our team members because through these difficult moments, they have continued to do their job with great exception and enthusiasm and energy. Okay. Like all businesses, we have to ensure business continuity, and being a food company, it's also important we play our part that there's food available. The third, which we don't highlight so much, is our contribution to society. Again, I'm very proud to share that we have done more than our part in donating not only our products, but also PPE equipment to healthcare professionals. Can we move on again, please? Just a short video. And I cannot thank enough to all our 15,000 employees and partners who continue to work every single day in the field, in the factories, in our distribution centers. They've been an inspiration for all of us, and I guess they will continue to do their duty and contribute to society in making sure we come out stronger from this pandemic. Now, you can move to the next slide, please. So, the FMCG business continues to evolve, but this time around, I guess it's got to evolve even faster, taking into account some of the factors or contributions from the pandemic. These are three spheres, again, from an article from McKinsey, a new model for consumer goods industry. In short, we got to change, but not everything needs to change. And that's why the complexity or the span, it becomes even wider. Everybody talks about change, but you can't change every single facet of the business. We got to realize the changes that take place with our consumers, but not all 267 million Indonesians that we serve change in the same speed, dimension, depth. Well, there'll be some consumers or customers who don't change at all. And that is why we need to provide solutions for this entire width and depth. FMCG is about branded propositions that give value propositions to consumers. And that is why relevancy, how are we continuing to be relevant to consumers despite the pandemic? We need to reinvent ourselves continuously. We need to make sure waste is driven out. And in that process, give the best value proposition to the consumers. Today, many of our consumers, and in particular mothers who are decision makers on what families consume, are facing difficulties. The mother in particular, in marketing languages, is facing tensions. Tensions mean situations where they can't solve problems themselves, or they're looking for solutions. The mother today needs to figure out what's the best food or nutrition that they can give. The pandemic, unfortunately, has also created some external negativity, not only in Indonesia, probably, I guess, globally. The GDP growths in many countries have declined. And this puts more and more pressure and stress on the consumer. There are consumers who are going to be withholding their spends. And hence, more and more, we have to give the best value proposition to the consumers. So this is not only for Nestlé, but this, I guess, applies to all companies which are playing in the FMCG field. But for the companies which are more agile, the companies that can change their shape fast, even in the most difficult moments, there is opportunity. And this is what we all got to strive for. How do we serve our consumers and customers best? Because the consumers will make the right choices. They will choose the best brands, the trusted brands that offer best value proposition. This is what we got to do for companies like Nestlé, continuously put the consumer in the center of everything and make sure we give the best to the consumer. Next slide, please. Now, coming closer to all of you, because eventually one day you're going to move away from the academic world to the real world. To some extent, the academic world is sheltered. You probably are in a bird's nest, and one day you need to fly away and make a living, make a career for yourselves. Again, copied with pride on some of the top 10 skills, which was shared at the World Economic Forum also fairly recently. And all of it is important, but I'd like to pick out on the first two. One of it is agility. If you are 20-something today and graduating fairly soon, whatever that you have learned in university will be relatively obsolete in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Therefore, you need to relearn again. I think Alvin Toffler, the author of Future Shock, spoke about the most important skills needed for the 21st century is the ability to unlearn, learn, and relearn. So that's something not only for you, but for every one of us, including myself. I graduated a long time ago, and I did a bit of computer science a long time ago, and every single thing on the languages that I learned don't exist anymore. In the good old days, there was languages like Fortran, Pascal, and softwares like DBase, Lotus 123. Every single one of them have disappeared. We have no choice but to learn and relearn. And that's what learning agility means. And it's going to apply to every single one of us, even after university. Going to the first bubble, resilience. Resilience is the ability to, or the ability or having staying power. And today, many young people, I want to be politely saying this, don't have this. Everybody wants instant results. Everybody wants instant noodles. You put minimum effort and you want maximum returns or the fastest returns. It can happen some of the time, but it won't happen all the time. So resilience or toughness, and in particular mental toughness, is something we all need to have. And moving on a little bit also, if you look at the other bubble there, complex problem solving. Already in the post-pandemic world, shared just now, volatility, complexity, uncertainty, ambiguity, with all of this, not only you have to solve the problems, you got to make decisions fast. And in that making decisions, you probably will not have all the information that you want. You just sometimes got to choose the best. The best means the fastest decision for the time and not necessarily the most perfect decision. So all of this, if you really look, it is about soft skills and not necessarily hard skills. The IQ, I think all of you graduating today and tomorrow are much smarter than all of us who graduated 10, 20 years ago. But the soft stuff is what I think is going to make a big difference if you're going to excel and accelerate in this post-pandemic world. And I don't know all the answers. Moving on to the next slide. I grew up in a world where we had offices. We used to get up early, rush to work, do a 9-to-5 job. I think that slowly but surely has changed. We were never ready for working from home, but I think these environments about working remotely, working on the move, working beyond 9 to 5, these are all things that are going to happen in the future world. So again, I don't know all the answers, but I probably guess if you can imagine it, we can probably do it. And this is going to be your world, the future world. The future workplace is going to be very different from where at least I came from, or some of us came from. I started with saying I don't want this to be a one-track presentation. I wanted this to be a conversation. And I'd like to close by moving to the next slide, by inviting you. to take the journey. Join us in being a force for good. Despite the pandemic or the COVID environment, despite the slowdown in the economy, Indonesia is now moving towards a recession for the first time in 22 years. We are continuing to expand. We are continuing to recruit. We are looking for talented Indonesians, not necessarily young, although you are the youngest probably right now. We have opportunities, and the opportunity is for the brave. So I think you can go to the necessary Nestlé websites or look at the social media parts of the company. We are looking for management trainees. We are looking for interns for our Nesternship program, and we need you. Okay. Next slide, please. And so what kind of people are we looking for? I guess we are looking for the best of all talents available. And it's a long checklist. It's not about IQ alone. The more technologically driven we become, I think the human biological part is also going to be equally important. The EQ part and the SQ part and the CQ part are also what we look for. But last but not least, are you hungry? If you are, so this comes from us from the food industry. We give food, but if you're hungry for an opportunity, this might be the place for you. So I'd like to stop by not talking too much and giving you an opportunity to say something as well. So terima kasih and thank you very much.
Terima kasih Pak Ganesan. Thank you. It was very fantastic presentation about the fast-moving consumer goods talent transformation in order to face the post-pandemic world. If I may share my top 3 key learnings from this session, I think the post-pandemic changes maybe not really significant. I mean, we will still face a VUCA world and also the black swan that Pak Ganesan just mentioned in the beginning. But instead, we will need to adjust or adapt to the speed and the pace of the business and then keep up with the business trends as a talent, because they will be surely more faster than before. And then we need to keep ourselves in the skill of learning agility. So we need to keep learning, relearning and unlearning things and gaining a diverse perspective, not only from maybe the same generation, but we can gain more perspective from the older generation or even the younger generation, ya Pak ya. Thank you. Okay, so I will try to read the questions right now. Wait a minute. Okay, so Pak Ganesan, we have one question here from Dimas Wisnu Aji. Hi Dimas, thank you so much for your question. How Nestlé created and prepared the talents to become a global future leaders? I think Pak Ganesan, you can share your journey and experience, 29 years working here from Nestlé Malaysia to be the market head or president director in Indonesia and Vietnam and other countries as well. Pak, I think you are still on mute, Pak. Sorry, the committee, can you please, yeah, okay, cool.
Okay, okay. So, first things first, Nestlé is an extremely decentralized organization. And all of us, we all come from operating companies. And I had the opportunity to join Nestlé as a management trainee from Malaysia. And this is where you are tested. I remember very clearly, and although it's a long time ago, it's as if it was yesterday. And one of the things part of our management training program is you're sent to the very bottom part of the company. Not that we like you to suffer, but I think it's to make you realize what actually happens and appreciate the people who do the small things that makes us the giant that we are today. It also prepares you with some other things called lessons in life, called humility. It's a privilege to be a management trainee and move on a fast track. But part of the preparation is that in whichever company we are sent to, we start from the bottom. And again, based on potential, based on performance, and also based on values. I don't think we just punish someone on short-term failures. Failures is not a crime. Failure is not a crime, but an opportunity to learn. So within any organization of the Nestlé system, we start from the bottom. And as we progress, for some of us, there's an opportunity to go outside our home markets. So this is something Nestlé offers, international career, for those who want to take it, to work outside whichever countries that you come from. And this is, again, exemplified in Nestlé. Most of our top management or the senior management are coming from multiple countries. Although we're a Swiss company, majority of the top management of Nestlé are not Swiss. And again, this is because we have a wide range of experiences, because for being a global company, we need to understand the various perspectives of the geography, of the cultures, and consumer habits. So, and that's why we get moved around a little bit. And also in Indonesia also, you can't just live in Jakarta and think Jakarta is what Indonesia is. Indonesia is a microcosm from Aceh to Papua. And the more we understand the geographies and the cultures and the consumers, the better we are equipped to serve them better, to serve them. And the same applies in a global perspective, in an ASEAN perspective. And this is, again, to inspire you and not a promise, but a premise. We like to exchange people. We try to send junior managers, middle managers to experience different environments. And these different environments could be culture, could be geographies. And this helps you appreciate and widens your perspective, because there is no one answer to any situation. There are many situations, and therefore this situational agility is what we give for preparing our future leaders in working in different environments and different countries.
Okay, thank you, Pak, for your answer. If I may summarize, so how we develop our employer, Nestlé employee, to be a global leaders. Of course, we see from the potential, from the performance, and also we provide exposure to improve the first skill is that the situational agility, and then also to equip them with diverse opinion, diverse ideas, and then also diverse team, so that they could be not only great in the decision making, but also managing their team, ya Pak.
Forgot to mention this. At the moment, we have three strong Indonesian ladies who are in Vietnam today. And I had the opportunity to work with them before I moved from Vietnam to Indonesia. Mm-hmm. This is an example again. And coincidentally, all our ladies and all our strong ladies working in a different environment like Vietnam, it prepares you, it learns, you have to adapt. And these are all the best, this is the best example I can give of how we are preparing our leaders, not only to come back to Indonesia, and also probably move out of Indonesia one day.
Yes.
Terima kasih.
Thank you, Pak. Okay, moving on to the next question. Maybe we can just connect from the first question. Hello, Pak Ganesan, I'm Fauzan from Siliwangi Empire. I think the name from the business competition, yeah. Fauzan, thank you for your question. So, what is the best strategy and solution from Nestlé to convince the consumer to buy the products, especially in the remote area. Let's talk about the across Indonesia, especially in the situation of COVID-19, Pak.
Yeah.
Floor is yours.
Yeah. So first things first, like I said, we exist to serve the consumer. The consumer is our king. We put the consumer in the center of everything we do by building trust in our brands. Now, whether they are remote, rural, urban, the upper end of society or the proverbial bottom of the pyramid, there are some things that we give to all our consumers. One of it's our quality and our standards. Consumers should have no doubt about the quality proposition that we give. And this is one of the things about Nestlé. Irrespective where we operate, the quality standards are second to none. Now, for the consumers in rural parts of Indonesia, and to some extent, they could be consumers who might not have high purchasing power. We have this philosophy of popular, what's known as PPP, popularly positioned products, which makes it affordable. So affordability is also one dimension apart from the brands that we have that deliver value proposition, which have the quality that's able to satisfy their needs. So popularly positioned products or affordable nutrition is also one of the main ways we can satisfy these consumers. There are many Indonesians who work on a daily basis or they receive daily wages. For these consumers, they might not have so much of disposable income, and they might have to apportion a small part of their income to buy sachets or single serves. And here we need to deliver that product, whether it's a 2,000 rupiah price point or 3,000 rupiah price point, in the same quality, same value, and again, satisfy and make them believe that they are getting value for their money. So this affordability with quality, with safety, and trusted brands, this is how we like to serve our consumers in remote areas of Indonesia and who happen to have less disposable income.
Okay, thank you, Pak. Okay, so it's affordability with the same quality and also safety and distributing the products even if it's in the remote area. Nice insight. Let's move on to the next question from Gardiani Marisa. How can FMCG enable these new commercial capabilities with an evolved operating model that prioritize consumer closeness and also local decision making, Pak? I think it's related to the fast-moving consumer goods business trend that you mentioned.
Okay. Two lines of thinking. One is by the nature of Nestlé, we are decentralized. Like I said, we are here for the Indonesian consumer. In Nestlé Philippines is for the Nestlé Philippines and Nestlé consumers in the Philippines. Nestlé Malaysia is for the Malaysian consumers, and so on and so forth. So by nature, we're already decentralized. That's already one level of closeness. Second, within a country itself, and here, even apart from Indonesia, I'd like to give an example of Vietnam. North Vietnam and South Vietnam are not necessarily the same in terms of consumer preferences. So we also like to take a regional approach within a country. And the same for Indonesia itself. The span of Indonesia is so wide. So we might not have sometimes just one single product or one single variant. We try to adapt that variant to support the consumer needs of that location. So decentralization and regionalization for Nestlé. The other line of thinking in being close to the consumer is today we are moving away from mass communication. 20 years ago or 10 years ago, it's all TV and you put one set of communications out to reach consumers. So from mass communication is now, we have access through social media and through digitalization to talk to consumers on a more individualized, so mass to personalize communication. So this is another way of us trying to be closer to the consumer. For example, in the old days, you run one commercial and one version of it. Today, you can run 5, 6 different versions of that communication, whether it's a television commercial or whether it's a snippet in in a social media, target to that local consumer, or probably also in the local language or local dialect. So this is again complexity. But for the companies which are capable and have the innovation and the desire, this complexity can be a competitive advantage.
Okay, so yeah, in order to access the personal approach to our consumer today, we do use social media. Maybe moving on from the previous question, this is something that is related as well, Pak. Hello, Pak Ganesan, I'm Abdul. I have a question regarding the business model in Nestlé during this pandemic situation. Pak Ganesan, you mentioned that there is changes in business model, but not at all can be changed. My question is, what kind of changes that Nestlé has done in order to adapt with the pandemic situation? And what kind of value proposition that Nestlé offered to the customers during the pandemic situation? Maybe it's more to like the example of our ads and brands that have been implemented, Pak, during these 3 quarters.
So there is change and not change at the same time. So first of all, we got to be there for our customers. And I also want to differentiate between customers and consumers. Customers are basically retailers, and this could be small toko or warkops. And being there for them means that despite the lockdowns, or in Indonesia, we call it PSBB, that we still serve them. Where possible, we go and meet them face to face. If we can't meet them face to face, we adapt through telephone calls, or in Indonesia, WhatsApp is king. We still keep that contact. And this shows that we care about the customer. He might not be able to buy the product this time around, but we still keep that relationship going. Especially customers who are in the out-of-home business, they suffered a lot because they can't operate normally. And it's important we keep in touch and keep this relationship going, or this connection going. Another story or example of how we have changed is again looking at the problems the consumers are facing. Indonesia had a fantastic growth period over the last few years. The last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, the growth of the GDP has been 5%, but not this year. Starting from Q4, it slowed down to 4.9%, I think. In Q1, it declined further. In Q2, it was negative GDP, and Q3 is also negative GDP. So when this happened, one of the things linked to the GDP drop is also job losses, reduction in income, household income, and whether we like it or not, for the first time in many, many years, there is real concern about the level of poverty. So one quick change that we came up with is, how do we help these consumers, the mothers and the families who might not have enough money to buy the best available nutrition? So we came up with a new product called Ideal, which is a more affordable milk powder in sachet, a single serve. And it was produced with the same standards. It has micronutrients like zinc and iron, but priced at 2,000 rupiah. And again, why I'm very proud of this, this was all done within 90 days or 120 days while we are going through lockdown. So that was a very good example of how we came up with a proposition. And in that proposition of producing this 2,000 rupiah product, we had to make sure we had to eliminate all the waste, give the consumer what they really want, no frills, but best value. So there are 2 parts to this, the pricing and affordability, and also how fast we had to do it, getting approvals through government, regulatory bodies, working with suppliers, without actually physically meeting some of them. So again, that was something we had to really rework, not only the business model, but what we call the way of working. 5 months ago or 10 months ago, everything was physical. This time it was a combination of physical and also working remotely.
Okay, thank you, Pak. Continuing from that point, we have this one question from Aldi in Jakarta. How is Nestle Indonesia thriving in this situation where people prefer to buy things online, not directly in stores? How Nestle predicting future trends on how people buy, let's say, food and beverage after this pandemic situation, Pak?
Okay. Not all things in the pandemic can be deemed negative. So one of the drivers of digitalization in Indonesia in particular has been the pandemic. Indonesia was already moving digitally very forward at a fast pace, but I think COVID made it grow even faster, not only through digital media consumption, but also on the e-commerce sphere. So, so for us, e-commerce is one of the fastest growing platforms that we have. But what's important to recognize is who are the consumers at the back or the shoppers at the back of the e-commerce. And they're predominantly, again, the more high income or high household income consumers. So there we are, again, refocusing or re-energizing the right brands, the right product mix to these consumers who are more digitally savvy and also have the purchasing power to buy things digitally. Having said that, the biggest things in digital e-commerce is not necessarily FMCG. FMCG is still a small part of the e-commerce. And nevertheless, we would, again, try to strive to be giving the best service, because e-commerce is not about price alone, it's about the service and serviceability. But also, don't forget, not everybody is buying everything through e-commerce. There's also parts of the consumer, and especially the lower end consumers, who might not go to e-commerce. And that's why we got to make sure our products are available through distribution, through physical stores at the same time. So e-commerce is a driver, but don't forget, many Indonesians are still buying in the pasars, in the kedai toko kecil and so on. We got to be there for them as well.
Okay, thank you, Pak. Talking about e-commerce being the business driver, we have been awarded as the best brand for Harbolnas, Hari Belanja Online Nasional, since 99, 10, 10, and also the recent one 11, 11. So I think that's a very great achievement for Nestlé Indonesia and also the e-business team. Okay, so moving on, we have somebody from Philippines here. Hi, sir, I'm Bea. I'd like to ask about Nestlé's recent environmental effort aside from waste management project. Have you considered rethinking Nestlé's packaging innovation, especially on sustainable packaging? More consumers nowadays find value in brands that promotes sustainable packaging.
So Bea, magandang harpon or umaga, I don't know which is the right term. So we have to play a bigger part in making sure all our entire value chain is more improved and better serve the environment. So it's not only packaging, but throughout the entire value chain. And wherever possible, whatever reduction of waste, that's also a huge link to sustainability, reducing waste. And starting from the one end of our spectrum, all our factories are designed today not to give anything to the physical land dump. Means our factories have got zero waste already, something we are proud of in all our factories, and also the factories in the Philippines as well. So we strive to make sure from the manufacturing point, nothing is wasted, everything is either recycled, and that way it doesn't end up in the physical dump. Now, moving closer to packaging, this is a huge challenge. The purpose of packaging is to protect, especially in these parts of the world where there is, I would say, climatic challenges, there's water in the atmosphere, and that's why we need good packaging to prevent products from spoiling or going to waste. But having said that, that's not an excuse. In Nestlé, we have made a major commitment by 2025, which is only 4 years away. We want to ensure all our packaging, every single one of it, is recyclable or is recycled. So we are changing as much of the packaging, and we're doing it in a systematic way. And in Indonesia, one example I'd like to share with you is the straw that we use for our ready-to-drink products. The straw used to be plastic. Now, by end of this year, all the ready-to-drink products made by Nestlé Indonesia will move towards a paper straw. And this is a huge and significant action because it's so easy to make the decision. But the consequence of the decision is also making sure we don't pass the cost to the consumer to pay for the paper straw. And there comes the challenge. We need to make changes. We must be more responsible. We must do more things to protect the environment. But just swapping it or making the changes and asking the consumer to pay for it, there's where we got to be more innovative, more resourceful in finding solutions. And in this example of the Milo RTD, the straw has been changed from plastic to paper. Paper straw is more expensive, and we didn't pass the cost to the consumer. So these are the realities. Everybody expects to do the good things. And that's why being part of the force of being good is we can't burden the other parts or the consumer with all our challenges. So that's just one example. And further on, whether it's cardboard or other laminates, we are striving to find packaging material which is recyclable. And we are also striving to be plastic neutral in the next few years in Indonesia.
Thank you,
which are all challenges, but we are committed to do it.
Challenges, but that's the spirit and the commitment. Thank you, Pak. Okay, moving on to the career journey, Pak. Actually, there's somebody from Bogor who is interested to get to know you better. Hello, Pak Ganesan. I'm Isan from Bogor. I would like to ask about your leadership journey in Nestlé as a multinational company. Could you share your most difficult challenge as a leader and how did you successfully overcome that challenge, Pak?
Right. Selamat sore kepada
Isan,
rakan. Selamat sore saudara Esan di Bogor. You know, I don't want to say I had a life is all sweet in this journey. There are many times there are many challenges. From the beginning itself, when I joined Nestlé, in the initial months, they part of the routine and part of the humbling exercise was to work in a warehouse. And when you work in the warehouse, you're supposed to, those days at least, carry boxes. So I thought after 1 month of doing this is not for me. I wanted to quit. But so there are many parts of this journey where you go through this perception and reality checks, because they made me carry boxes, but that lesson in carrying boxes at that time is still useful for me until now, because eventually when I became a brand manager, I knew a little bit how to design the right boxes or the right carton size, because if you design the wrong box, there's some guy down the line is going to be carrying your mistake. But so there were moments like this when you don't realize what is the bigger picture and you try to take the easy way out by quitting. So I had that experiences in the early part of my career. And this is why, again, in one of the skill sets that we need, or not skill sets, but attitudinal, it's attitude, not necessarily aptitude. Aptitude is more intellectual and about IQ. But this attitude, this resilience, this is what, to some extent, helped me. Because, you know, in whichever journey that you take, whether it's professional journey or the emotional, personal journey, it will not be 100% smooth. There will be pleasant times. Pleasant means things happen as per your wish. And there will be unpleasant times when things don't happen as per your wish. And in that moment of unpleasantness, and that's when you got to take stock. and make that valuation, or the word in Bahasa is menilai. You will go through difficulties, and that some of these difficulties, as long as it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. So I had these moments where I also wanted to quit and back up and leave and say, this is not for me because it's difficult. Diamonds are formed through high pressure. And this is why I think in long-term career building and for yourselves, going through these difficult periods, building resilience and not quitting suddenly just because you had one bad day, but is going through and facing this again and again and not giving up. These are the things that make people stronger. And that's my gift to you. I hope you have a tough time as well. I want you to have a great life. I want you to have a happy life. But this toughness prepares you facing tough times. Tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Great line, Pak. I will quote it later on my Instagram. Okay, Pak, maybe follow-up question from me. Let's say, Pak, you can go back in time to the year where you just graduated from your bachelor degree program. What do you want to do differently, Pak?
Well, so please, the last thing I want to sell to you, although I like to claim to be a corporate Jedi, and Jedis have superpowers, but I'm also a normal human being. So I'm not a Superman. I've made mistakes. Probably, if I had to go back, obviously I went to university. Maybe I should have experimented more. I should have traveled a little bit more. Probably because I come from a very conservative background, I didn't go out much out of Malaysia. So today you can't do that also because of COVID, but I think you youngsters today have this opportunity to expose yourself. And I think one of the things I lacked at that time was exposure. I grew up in Malaysia. I went to school in Malaysia. Bahasa is my first language. I went to university in Malaysia. It was all Malaysia in the beginning. So I didn't have the chance to experience things outside. And consequently, because of not having that exposure, it kind of limits your perspectives a little bit. And that is why I told perspectives. And the more you see things differently, the more you have the processing power in your head, whether from an intellectual capacity and also an emotional capacity. So this exposure is what I think I really lacked. So if you have a chance to experience things differently, and I'm talking about the right experiences, about culture, about geography, then I think you should experience as much as possible. And hopefully this exposure builds confidence and prepares you a little better as you go into the working world. So
Thank you, Pak. Thank you, Pak. So, teman-teman semuanya, you guys, you can learn, of course, not only from the career journey of Pak Ganesan, but also the things that he would wish to change if he can go back in time, especially in this kind of situation. Okay, talking about career, here comes a question from Marisa. Marisa is from Bandung. Hi, sir. I would like to ask you, Nestlé is a very large company that will absolutely continue to improve its business performance. One way that might be affected is the quality of the talent or the employee. Could you please share with us what is Nestlé's strategy in the first one in selecting employees? Maybe in here, Pak Ganesan, you can be more specific in management trainee, Pak, because I think everybody in here is interested to pursue career in Nestlé.
Sure. So, ultimately, any company, whether it's FMCG or in the tech space, it's built by people, of people, and for people. So we need people, or the raw material is talent, for us to continue to strive and thrive and grow and become the company that it is or almost is and the company that it hopes to be. We need the best people possible. So, I'd like to invite you, and I would like you to go through the journey I went through, and if not better, and fulfill your fullest potential. So one of the best programs that we have, or our flagship program, is the management trainee program. And I would highly, highly encourage you to join and apply. Don't listen to me alone. Test it out. Take a test drive. I believe more than 40,000 people applied for the Nestlé Indonesia's management trainee program for 2020, and I think we took about 28 people. So we are going to continue to invest in Indonesian talent. Obviously, I'm again speaking from a Nestlé Indonesia perspective, and there are management trainee programs, as far as I know, in Indonesia and also in the market which I came from, which is Vietnam. So we will continue to invest, because the next generation leaders need to go through, leaders are not made instantly. They have to go through some learning curve, and this preparedness is what our management trainee program does. And also the same thing, I like to share that this journey requires some humility as well. Everybody wants to be the number one, but being number one also must come with the values, the right values. And that is why I think our management trainee program, and I don't want to say we are the best and the only management trainee program, this management trainee program prepares you to not only learn about the company, but also puts balance and context apart from performance. We just don't want ruthless performance, and the performance of the what must also come with the how, and balanced with values. So I think if you have a chance, please do apply. And inshallah, we will also have recruitment next year. I think we just closed this year's. So it's a good program. It's a fantastic program. And that's what this is how I started. It made me what I am today. We had a 2-year management training program those days. It rounded me well. It kind of completed the journey from academic to workplace, and this is what we hope to offer to what's available out there, and hopefully the best of Indonesia, what Indonesia has to offer.
All right, thank you. So yeah, everybody, if you want to apply for both management trainee and also Nesternship, you can go right to our Instagram, Nestlé Careers ID, and stay tuned there. We will, of course, update you about all of the packages and information through our Instagram. Maybe last 2 questions for Pak Ganesan. This one is about generation gap in the workplace, Pak. So it's coming from the committee. Nowadays, there's quite a gap from leaders and employees. Sometimes the leaders are already in his 40s or 50s, or we can say they are baby boomers. And then the employee nowadays tend to be millennials or even Generation Z. By having this generation gap, there will be some differences in way of work, opinions, and communication. How do you think it's better for the leader to adjust to the employee, or otherwise, Pak?
Okay, so first of all, I like to say I'm young, although I'm metaphorically and biologically possible to be a father. And this thing about generational gap is not new. It's been there all the time. I'm sure that my parents had some generational gaps thinking or problems with me when I was growing up. And I like to continue by sharing a story. I was in Surabaya yesterday. I had an opportunity to meet with some of our area sales managers. And our area sales managers are 30-somethings. And over a dinner conversation, I asked them, what are your problems? These 30-somethings are complaining about the 20-somethings. So what's your biggest problem? The young guys, we don't understand the young guys. And they themselves are 30-somethings. So this is always there. Now, it takes both. And I'm a big believer of first you seek to understand before being understood. And this also happens to all of us. Try to understand the other person. Communication is a two-way process. And most of the time, there's cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance means there's mental blocks. You don't understand. You don't even want to listen to what the guy or girl is saying. You already form an opinion. So it's both the manager and the subordinate, both the leader and the follower. And then so leaders, and all of you are going to be future leaders sooner or later. You cannot just be taking a hard stance. You also have to be a servant leader sometimes, listening more. And this also goes to me. As I tell you all this, I'm telling myself also, sometimes I need to talk less and listen more. So we need to understand today, without doubt, in many conversations that happen in the office, oh, the millennials are different. Of course, they're different. They grew up in a different environment. They went through different stages in life, and we are in a different phase. But before casting judgment or fault or blame, we better understand what's going on in their heads. So the more we understand, the more we can be part of the conversation and more of the solution. So generation gaps will always be there. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, and all my young friends and children out there, one day you're going to be in my place and people are going to call you Bapa and Ibu.
Of course, Pak, by the time. Thank you, Pak Ganesan, for sharing that point. Okay, everybody, I just want to remind you, we would like to encourage everybody here to share the excitement today on Instagram story, tagging Nestlé Careers ID and also IBSC UNPAD. You can also highlight the quotes, maybe from Pak Ganesan, your favorite quotes. Komite, we still have 7 minutes left, yeah? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think we can pick one or two more questions. This is coming from Bandung as well, Pak. Sir, as we know at the moment, people purchasing power is on the decline, and that would impact the declining of demand. In addition, it will also affect employee psychology, such as being demotivated or discouraged because the condition today, which could lead to employee reduction. And if things not improve, my question is, how do Nestlé keep an employee's trust to the company and nurture their work spirit? Thank you, Pak.
So again, I think you answered the answer to your question is on that one word, trust. Trust is a premium. Trust is like a piece of glass. Once you break it, you can never glue it back again. And even if you glue it back again, the line or the crack will be still there. And I'm again very proud of our company, not only here in Indonesia, but also from our head office. Despite all the difficulties, we did the right things. The right things. The right things is beyond legal. It's beyond the rules. We had at any single time, we didn't delay payments or cut costs for the wrong reasons. In this pandemic, it's also an opportunity to do the wrong things and try to maximize your profitability by either cutting corners. And I think, again, very proud that we don't do that. We have pressures, but we try to find the best solutions. So the trust of our employees, number one, and we try to be as open as possible. We try to be as transparent as possible. Even despite the COVID environment, I think we had more than 30, 40 town halls in the few months I've been in Indonesia. So where we give an opportunity people to ask questions. The more open we are, the more transparent we are, the best we can share what the company is going through. And of course, not everybody will agree to 100% of everything that's being said, but we nevertheless tell people things as they are. So trust is super important. And also part of the question was that the pandemic is also, no doubt, the demand in Indonesia is going down. Consumption in Indonesia is going down. But for market leaders and market leading companies, and I'd like to say Nestlé is a market leader, and for the companies which can perform, this is also an opportunity to become stronger. So one of the messages that we like to share with our own top management team, this is an opportunity for the company, for Nestlé Indonesia, to come out stronger before the pandemic and after that. So again, we are in a blessed position. The company is still growing. Despite the environment out there. So in moments like this, we like to build market share, and we like to strengthen our positions by making our brands more relevant to consumers. So, and again, that relevancy is the next link of trust with the trust with the consumers and customers. So for the market leading companies, and it's not just a crisis. Every crisis produces opportunities for leaders, and Nestlé Indonesia aims to be a leader in Indonesia.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Ganesan, for your answer. And then I think everybody, including me here, learning a lot from your presentation, not only about the fast-moving consumer goods business trend, but also your career journey. And then in here, we also get the insight on how to prepare ourselves in order to face a lot of changes, a lot of challenges that may come in the next, let's say, 1 or 2 years after this pandemic is over. I think we're already running out of time. And I would like to welcome you to give your closing statement for the youngsters here today, Pak, to motivate them and just to encourage them.
I'd like to close by saying a few words in Bahasa Indonesia.
Sure, Pak. Silakan.
Senyum itu sedekah, kerja itu ibadah. And if you're lucky, and I'm lucky, I found Nestlé, and I hope Nestlé finds you. If you find the right job and a job that you love, you don't have to work another day. Again, I'm lucky. My job is my hobby, so I get paid to do my hobby. So I wish you all the same, if not better. You are the future of this country, of this region, and many of you are from in Southeast Asia. I think Southeast Asia is going to continue to grow. The pandemic is, I hope, a hiccup. I hope it's a challenge that all of us can overcome. I'm extremely optimistic about Indonesia. Indonesia has got a lot of potential. I'm not talking about economic potential alone. The biggest potential of Indonesia is going to come from the people of Indonesia, whom I, again, had the opportunity to see. I really believe that we have to be optimistic, even in the darkest of times. Don't forget, only in the greatest darkness, you will see the brightest stars. I think the future is still bright for Indonesia. And I'd like to wish you all the very best. Kalau panjang umur, kita mungkin berjumpa di Nestlé Indonesia. So walaupun jauh di mata, sentiasa dekat di hati. Terima kasih, and have a fantastic day and fantastic
life. Pak, sorry, if you could stay for 2 minutes, Pak, because the committee would like to give you an appreciation.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so let me just stop sharing my screen. Committee, the floor is yours. Thank you so much, Pak Ganesan, for your time and your opportunity. Feel honored to be your buddy here today.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ganesan and Kak Sarah, for guiding the material presentation and also discussion on today's webinar, which was really impressive and also fun. And we have heard either the introduction of Nestlé in global world and the contribution itself, also the FMCG topic that we're bringing today. Very interesting once again. Thank you very much for the opportunity. The honorable ladies and gentlemen, before we come to the edge of this webinar, there will be an e-certificate given to the speaker. Okay, certificate given to Mr. Ganesan Anpalavanar from the committees represented by the IBSC 2020's Project Officer, Kak Diga.
Hi, Mr. Ganesan. Once again, thank you so much for sharing. It is a great opportunity for us to learn from you, from a Jedi like you. It was an outstanding presentation. I hope that we could all achieve something from today. It will surely be a motivation for us as on facing this new world. Also, I would like to thank Kasara as the moderator and the PIC of this partnership. Thank you to Nestlé Indonesia for this partnership. And I said before, once in a lifetime experience for us, the committee, and also the participants. May the force be with us all. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Ganesan.
Right. Terima kasih. Thank you very much. And
sama-sama.
it was a pleasure. Terima kasih.
So
Sehingga
we
kita
would
bertemu
like
lagi. Right.
Sampai bertemu lagi, Mr. Ganesan. We would like to give you a certificate of appreciation for you, Mr. Ganesan, and for sharing your knowledge and expertise in International Business Solution Competition 2020 webinar.
Okay, thank you. Maybe next is the photo session from Mr. Ganesan and also Kadiga.
Yes, sure.
Okay, are you ready? Let me count to 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Maybe once again for the certificates.
For the certificates, sorry.
1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much once again to Mr. Ganesan and Nestlé team and also Kak Sarah for the willingness to be present on today's webinar. Hopefully, maybe we can meet on the other occasion, Mr. Ganesan and Kak Sarah.
Right. Terima kasih. Thank you very much again. Thank you.
Thank you very
Terima
much,
kasih, Pak.
Panitia, IBSC UNPAD Diga and the team. Hope you have a good weekend. Bye-bye. Thank you, Pak Ganesan.
Thank you, Pak Ganesan.
Thank you, Kak Sarah. Distinguished guests, before closing this event, we will carry out on a photo session first. Therefore, we request to all webinar participants to keep your cameras on and get prepared of ourselves. Maybe there's a few of slides. We can hang on and hold on for smiling because the committees will take to a picture. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Maybe there's a few another slides. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. And we also inform you that the e-certificates for participants will be given after fill the evaluation form and will be shared by personal email. Maybe the committees would like to show. Okay, the participant, you can go to the bit.ly/IBSC testimony. We would like to give you about 3 minutes. Once again, we would like to inform you that the e-certificates for participants will be given after fill the evaluation and will be shared on personal email. So you can go to the bit.ly/IBSC testimony. Okay, maybe that's enough time for filling the evaluation form. To all distinguished webinar participants, by saying Alhamdulillahirabbil Alamin and thanks to God, we have arrived at the edge of the event today. It's a really wonderful occasion to have meet some other of participants from the different countries. It was really great. And we, on behalf of the committee, would like to thank you very much for your participation and also enthusiasm. And we also apologize if there are any shortcomings on the implementation of today's webinar. I'm Yamita Bunga. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon and have a great day. And we also inform you to the finalists, see you tomorrow on the next agenda, and the information will be delivered by each delegate relation. Thank you.
Terima kasih Andi.